Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of
the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast
with your host, the 2023 IBWAA Podcast Host of the Year, Jana, and her big brother, Jeff. I'm at the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast and the grocery store. At the Combination SRBB Grocery Store, SRBB Podcast Grocery Store. Or I'm just sitting in a small room in the dark, mostly recording a podcast. He's recording a podcast and at the grocery store. He's at the Combination Recorder Podcast. Sorry. I told you I have that in my head. And,
well,
now it's
maybe you can use it in IL, Will of IL.
In the Will of IL.
Yeah,
Ooh,
maybe.
I'll have to start working on that. You may have to do most of the heavy lifting this show because I will now be trying to figure out how I've got an oblique strain. I've got a twisted knee. I've got a combination. I've got an oblique strain. I've got a UCL. I've got a combination. Okay, maybe let me get on that.
Oh,
okay?
great.
This is
All
your
right.
show. Jana's going to take it from here. I'll just be back later with an IL song, Will of IL song. All right, I like it. Yep, here we go. The latest episode of the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast. I'm Jeff. Little sister is here.
Yes, here I am. I was going to introduce myself, but you did it for me. Thank you very much.
I did. That was the plan. You're too small to talk for yourself.
All right.
You're the little sister.
Yes. Talk for me.
Yes. No, because you have to do. I'm doing it now to save you because you're going to talk a lot later.
That's true.
While I'm writing IL songs. So the latest to my oblique greatest hits.
Yes, getting a compilation album together.
All right. Well, lots to talk about. Every year, right about now, somebody's sky is falling. We got that to cover because that's a yearly tradition. The sky is. The Angels had their sky is falling moment 2 games into the season, and then realized the sky fell a long time ago. We haven't put it back up. No reason to. Dodgers gotta talk about them and what's going on, and of course more news from the Wheel of Drama when it comes to Shohei. We're going to get to that, of course. Before we do that, you can find us on Twitter at Sibling Rivalry BB without the A.
And on Instagram and Facebook at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
And our website, siblingrivalrybb.com. Cruise on over there. Check out the Fanatics link. It's a good way that you can help support the show. And in fact, we should pull out later before we finish up the show and tell everybody what our plan is for our summer travels and tell them if they want to contribute to our summer travels.
That would be awesome.
Then where they can go to do that, because we have one that you can link to on our website. I think you still can. And then go buy, but if you go buy stuff from Fanatics and just buy it through the links on ours, then that way you get gear out of it and we get something like 2 cents or something per thing or something. I don't know what it is, but
every little bit helps. Yes,
indeed. Might be able to get us a hot dog or something.
Maybe.
I doubt it. All right, the Wheel of Drama keeps on turning. Don't know where it will land tomorrow, but we do know today that Ippei has turned himself in. They've come to a conclusion that so far it looks like everybody's beginning to believe, except for those forever conspiracy theorists, that Shohei had nothing to do with any of it, that Ippei is indeed the bad guy here. And that's just the way it is. The government, I don't think they're completely finished with there's certain aspects of things that are still being investigated, but for the most part, Ippei has turned himself in, and I think the numbers were probably the biggest thing, because when we first heard it, in Shohei, is that Shohei and Ippei together? Shohei. Anyway, in Shohei, I did it again. In Shohei's world, in Shohei's world, not realizing that $4.5 million is gone when you've got $100 million. To me, that seems reasonable. I'd like to think I have so much money that I wouldn't notice, and I wouldn't even notice the real amount of money that it turned out to be.
Yeah. It's a lot. $16 million.
I think they said 16 million plus. I don't know if that means like 16 million, like 16.3 or something, but still.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Well, and the thing is, and we talked about this early on when this all came out, is Ippei, I felt like he had known Shohei Ohtani since he was 18. I feel like he made, he put himself into a position where he could, whether, I don't know how long he's been gambling and how long this has been going on before he met Shohei, but he put himself into a position where he pretty much, I think, kept Shohei very close to him. He didn't, like Joe Madden said, when I didn't talk to Shohei, I talked to Ippei. Ippei told Shohei. And then Ippei would come and talk to me. So he was the middleman in everything. He helped set up the bank accounts. He did all of these things. He was like his manager, his personal assistant, his manager, his driver. He did everything for him.
Joe Madden described them as best friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he described the relationship. It didn't look like that it was Ippei was his employee or whatever. And it has been said that that Shohei paid him to be like a personal assistant on top of the Angels, and then the Dodgers paying him to be an interpreter.
Right. Yeah. So Ippei appeared in U.S. District Court in Los Angeles last week on Friday. He surrendered to the authorities. He was released on a $25,000 bond. His next court hearing is on May 9th. I thought it was interesting that he had shackles around his ankles. Like, wow.
I think that's like $1 million bail kind of thing.
Oh.
His bail was $25,000, so it seemed unnecessary.
Yeah.
Or maybe they thought he was really fast, so if he got away.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. So he had to surrender his passport. He was barred from gambling and from entering casinos, and he was instructed not to have any contact with Shohei because, he stole roughly $16 million. And we see through the paper, all the reports that came out, the what's it called?
The transcripts? The
transcripts, right, of what the government had. He said, I stole money.
The filings.
The filing. Yeah, thank you. I stole money from, because he was like, well, it's not like you're taking his money, the guy he was talking to, the bookie. And he was like, yeah, no, I did.
And I think a lot of people think that, and I read a story today, and I think I sent it to you, that was in The Athletic, about people who read through that are recovering gambleaholics. I'm not sure. Compulsive gamblers.
Yes.
They see that behavior. They recognized it when they saw it. Just to give you an idea, out of this, this is in The Athletic, if you happen to have that. If not, maybe send me a message, direct message or an email or something, and I have it. I could send you a guest pass for 30 days. I have a couple of those that are available.
Yes.
So anyway, Stephen J. Nesbitt wrote this. It's called in Ippei Mizuhara's text messages, Problem Gamblers See a Familiar Obsession. And the part that I want to kind of point out right now, and there's a lot, they talked to a guy who read some of that and was like, yeah, I remember those days. But it seems as though that in this case, number one, he's betting with an illegal bookie. It's not like he's making these bets through DraftKings.
Right.
Or one of those. And apparently they have things set up so that you can set up so that you can't bet more than a certain amount. You can't. These are on like DraftKings and all those websites like that that we've mentioned before, and I can't remember any of them but DraftKings right now.
Yeah.
But he's talking to a guy and here in California, sports betting is illegal. And this guy's an illegal bookie. The guy Bowery or Bowery or however, Bowyer or Bowyer is, so he's doing that. The problem that happens is that he's got a, Ippei had it, so other gamblers that we're talking about, they get a line of credit and then maybe having access to money. So he may have been gambling early on, but didn't have a lot of money to gamble with. So he wasn't as inclined to push it to bet $25,000 on something as it sounds like he did it a couple times. But just over some text messages with the bookie or with somebody connected with the bookie and that criminal enterprise, in June of 2022, he texted this person, said, I lost it all. He had a motivational buzzword to start it. But he's like, I lost it all. LOL. Can you ask Bowyer if he can bump me 50K? Bump means to extend it out farther. So extend more credit. That'll be my last one for a while if I lose it. November 14th. I'm terrible at this sport betting thing, huh? LOL. Any chance you can bump me again? As you know, you don't have to worry about me not paying.
2 exclamation points.
Exactly. December 9th of 2022. Can you bump me the last 200? And I'm assuming that's 200,000, not just $200.
Right.
I swear on my mom, this will be the last ask before I pay it off. Once I get back to the States, sorry for keep on asking. And then in the last couple here that I'm going to read, June 23rd, 2023. I'm the worst. LOL. Can't catch a break. Can I get one last bump? I swear this is going to be my last until I get to the balance down significantly. I promise this will be the last bump for a while. June 24th, next day. Some of them have been gapped by a few months.
Right.
I have a problem. LOL. Can I get one last bump? This one for real. Last one for real. So he had to figure out how he was going to get the money. At this point, from what I remember reading in this, he's already $1 million into the hole with the bookie. And it just goes on. And we've heard the stories. Ippei's the best the best poker player in that. And that was 2021 when that question was asked, or 2022. You told the story of how people said, yeah, when we come, Ippei takes us to the casinos in the area. Mm-hmm. And we do have, casinos that are on tribal lands here. So you can play cards or slot machines or whatever.
Yeah.
It's an interesting story because it talks about the compulsion and addiction to gambling. And, it's a lot of the times they think all I need is to make this one bet. I'm going to make everything up and I'll pay everything off. And they don't. They get further in the hole. Or if they do win, they think, oh, I'm on a roll. And instead of paying everything off, they double down and they get deeper into the hole again. And, it's an interesting story. And it is interesting because just today I read a story about that the NBA has banned a player for life for betting on NBA games, among everything else.
Yeah, betting on NBA games, but also taking himself out of a game.
Trying to manipulate the outcomes of things.
Yeah. So, and that's the first time. Well, I say the first time. It's the second time that this has happened, but it didn't. The first time it happened was 1954.
Yeah, it was like 70 years ago was the last time that the NBA had banned somebody.
Yeah.
For gambling. So, and all these stories and all this stuff, and when you listen to people, so many people think that it's going to be worse. We haven't seen the last of it, as more and more places and the sports they're not shying away from the money that comes from that, but the rules about player gambling are the same.
Yeah, very clear. You don't gamble. And you
Right.
certainly don't gamble or bet on baseball or
period. And, and even if you did, make sure you're not gambling on your own team, because that's lifetime ban.
Yeah.
If you gamble on another game, it's a year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way careers are going now, you may not have a year to give up.
Right.
That may be when you don't find your way back into the game.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's sad to see somebody that you watched with Shohei Ohtani. Obviously we don't know them, but just watching people on the TV, when you're watching games, and you never can tell what somebody's going through or what's happening. And it's just sad that he obviously has a really bad gambling. I mean, it's an addiction. So like we have said before, hopefully he gets the help that he needs. He's been ordered to go into gambling, like Gamblers Anonymous or whatever it may be. It's probably more than that, but yeah, I think it'll be a lot more. But I think too, with it exonerates Shohei, but it's something that I think we already knew. If you watch Shohei Ohtani's career, you know that he's very focused on playing baseball. On Sunday night, the Dodgers and the Padres had the Sunday night game on ESPN, and they were talking about shoes. Eduardo Perez was all about the swag, all about the cleats. And
right. He had given Freddie Freeman some shoes before. So it was, I think even David Cohn was talking about how he threw a no-hitter or something and the cleats weren't anything special. Yeah. And he was mad that Eduardo Perez, who was a kid at the time, didn't show up and go, here, have some really cool shoes, man.
That's right. But he interviewed Shohei about the shoes he has on, and he spoke to him in English. I mean, it wasn't great English.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was speaking paragraphs.
Exactly.
It's
just very basic.
Flat on the bottom.
Flat.
They're flat.
Yeah.
I like flat. That's all he said. I mean, he didn't sound weird or anything like that.
No, but he just sounded like someone that is not a native speaker of English, right? He's a Japanese speaker and a native Japanese speaker. But then, of course, people came out and were like, they tried to say that it was Ippei who called the bank, which is what happened. They had recordings and they could
Recordings,
tell.
text messages. They have the multi-factor text messages being directed to his
Yes.
phone, to his personal number,
Which
to his email
makes
account.
total sense because he set up the accounts. And so that leads me to believe that he already had an issue. You know, he had an addiction already. He was already gambling at this point, but he maybe not to the point, not to the degree
yeah,
that he got to.
Well, just to throw in here, basing on the degree, from like 2021 to January of this year, 2024, around 19,000 bets placed. In that same time frame, he won 140 million some odd dollars. He lost 182. I think the difference was like $40 million that he lost. The net loss was 40 million and some change. And just to go, and I think he knew when he set everything up, he already knew enough about Shohei to know that he could get away with it that Shohei wouldn't know.
Well, the other thing I thought was really interesting, I didn't know, Shohei Ohtani sleeps about 12 hours a day.
Oh, I'd heard 16.
Yeah, I mean, his sleep schedule, so he was sleeping most of the time.
They're like, why? How did he have time to do that if they're always together? It's like they may be together, but Ippei is up doing stuff around the house or whatever,
right,
or doing things for Shohei while Shohei's sleeping.
Yeah, which probably obviously included placing bets, calling the bank, changing passwords, who knows? But he was doing all of those things.
On average, 25 bets per day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, people are still going to find, just like you said, oh, he speaks better English. But ask anybody who's ever learned a language. Some people will understand more than they can speak.
Yes.
I can say more things and know what I'm saying than I can fully understand. And the reason being is not that I can't understand it. It's that when I listen to somebody talk, when we talk in our native language or whatever our first language is,
mm-hmm.
we can talk fast.
Right.
And when you talk to somebody who's not a native speaker, who's still learning, I do that. I've taken Spanish. I'm around people speaking Spanish quite a bit. I can pick up things and be following a conversation, and then somebody will say something that is either, and depending, if you're not speaking classic textbook Spanish, there's slang thrown in. Well, one person from Mexico in Spanish can say one word. Somebody from Argentina can say the exact same word and have two separate meanings.
Yes.
But even if you know what the basic meaning of it is, while you're there thinking, what is it that he just said so I can figure it out and I've got it in the right context, they're 2 miles down the road already still talking. So I've lost all of that. And Shohei probably is the same. If you're not paying attention, even hearing people speak in your own language, you miss stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of tired of this. Oh, see, Shohei, he knew everything and they're covering up for him. And somebody even said that, the government was covering for him, Japanese government, the U.S. government, everybody.
DOJ, yeah, everybody. The Dodgers were involved in the whole thing.
MLB. The whole world is in on Shohei, and they're covering it up.
Well, Tyler Glasnow was on with Chris Rose, and he asked him, did you guys know anything was going on? And Tyler Glasnow's new to the team, but he said when we heard it, he goes, we all knew Ippei was shady. And I don't know,
because you're with Shohei so much,
that
what kind of guy he is. And it's not as if any of those other guys that are on the team. You got to go back to the Angels to find out what it's like day to day, because Shohei's new to the team too. Tyler Glasnow. And if Tyler Glasnow or Teoscar Hernandez or anybody or any of the guys who have even been around, Mookie, Freddie, Will, Max, you got to figure out Shohei, because Shohei was never there before either. And if you can automatically tell something's going on with Ippei, then you figured it out. They're players and they can see how he works. When does he have time to stop down and make 25 bets a day?
Right. Never.
You would be able to see that, you know, and even if he's talking to Ippei, you know, obviously we don't know what they're talking about, but I would think too, the problem for Ippei is unless he's got Shohei isolated somewhere and Shohei's telling him, okay, now go bet this.
Yeah.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto is there. He's a Spanish. He's a Japanese speaker. Will Ireton is a translator. And those guys were probably around a lot.
Oh, and Yamamoto's translator is there.
But before Ireton was his before, now they've got another guy who's
but he was at spring training too, because he won. Yeah, he won the wings eating contest. Was him, but he's in the dugout along with Will.
Is that going to come up to be later on?
I don't know. It's on video. I don't know, but
but with AI we can
fair and square
that video.
What we see, but yeah, no, I think that was very telling for Tyler Glasnow to say in this short amount of time that he was around. But you can see his work, Ohtani's work ethic, and you can see how he operates. He doesn't have time to do that. And honestly, if you've known somebody since you're 18, then you come over to the United States, you want somebody there that you feel comfortable with to help you, to, help you do the things that you need to do. Set up a bank account, get a house, what all the things that you need to do.
Ippei was to Shohei as the blue blanket is to Linus.
Yes. Yeah.
He was his protector. He was his safety. He was his blanket right there.
Well, yeah. And I think too, and there's some good things that have come out of this, obviously not for Ippei, but for Shohei, is obviously can't trust everyone, but it also has given him, and you can see it in the dugout if you watch the games, you can see him seems more open. He's talking with the other players, and again, he's talking to their players, but he's talking about baseball. He knows that. And I'm sure it's very much what he talked about with Eduardo Perez, Dodger blue, that my shoes are white and Dodger blue, very basic.
That's me.
Yeah.
New Balance logo.
But enough that they can communicate. Yeah.
These are all things that he uses in the commercial.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just, I think that's the good thing for him that has come out. Even Dave Roberts has said he seems like a weight has been lifted, because he was very much like Tyler Glasnow was like, as soon as this stuff came out, Shohei was like, look at my phone, figure this out. What is going on? I don't know what's going on. So there's always going to be haters.
I think there was some naivety to Shohei, and
of course,
why not? But that happens with a lot of people who are talented like that. There's always somebody that wants to be there and
how many
ride your coattails and take advantage of things.
But how many sports figures have this happened to? I mean, a lot. I think like John Elway has lost money. I just think off the top of my head.
Right. And you wouldn't even think about that. And he doesn't have a language barrier.
No.
He doesn't. And there was no language barrier between Shohei and Ippei either.
But Ippei was able, I would love to know, did he always tell him when someone was speaking and he said, and he's saying this, how forthcoming was he, depending on the conversation?
Well, one place that I've wondered that too, that, that whole thing of, I used to talk about this with Blanca because her parents immigrated from Mexico, and, they learned the English that they needed to learn, and maybe more, but for the most part, when they'd go to parent-teacher conferences, Blanca had to translate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the teacher could say, Blanca is the worst student in the world, and she could turn around and tell her parents, she says, I am absolutely the greatest thing ever.
Right.
Now she says she never did that. I believe her. She's pretty much on the up and up. I'm the shady one between the two of us. But we don't know that that's not, Ippei maybe he didn't lie to him specifically, but he wasn't telling him the whole truth about everything.
Right.
And when he set up those accounts and those things, as far as Shohei's concerned, Ippei set up those accounts, and that's where his MLB paycheck was supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, he brought him from Japan here, where Ippei was translating for American players or English speakers,
right,
to Japanese, just doing the opposite there. Who knows what he said to any of them. And, you end up, because you're getting the translation from him, you really only have, and if he doesn't tell you specifically, or if he takes the way that it's said and doesn't, he inflects a different part of something in the way that he tells it back, it can change the whole meaning. So
right.
The player's thinking one thing, the team is thinking something else, or the other side of it. And the only one who really knows what's going on is Ippei, or the translator for any player.
Yeah.
So
true.
I think by the end, Shohei's never going to really learn English, because Teoscar Hernandez and Kike Hernandez, the Hernandez brothers, are teaching him Spanish.
Yes.
And I think he's going to go from fluency in Japanese to fluency in Spanish.
Yeah.
And just pass English up completely.
Yeah, altogether. I think that's true. I think that is right.
All right. Well, one place that it doesn't seem to be affecting Shohei, with some possible exceptions, has been the field. So let's take a look and see what has been happening in Dodgerland.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
I'm going to Dodgerland. I'm at the grocery store.
All right. So the Dodgers welcomed in the Padres for the World Series. Oh, no, sorry. Just for the
Padres.
For the Padres. That's right. And it didn't look great on the first game for the Dodgers. It did go innings, went to 11 innings. Dodgers just don't do great in the innings.
But they didn't need to go to innings.
True.
They had 7 runs heading into the 4th inning.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I don't know.
They just forgot. They weren't at the Dodger game and at the grocery store. They just went to the grocery store.
That's right. They did. Well,
and they didn't, and there were no errors charged to them. The Drags had 2 errors in this 11 inning game.
Yeah.
But once they scored those 7 out of the gate, the wheels fell off their bus. A guy who's been getting a lot of grief lately, especially on the radio around here, Alex Vesia.
Yeah.
But the problem wasn't even Vesia at that point. The problem is a combination. The first three pitchers all had issues. Yamamoto, it's not terrible. He just gave up 3 runs.
But he gave
three
up
runs. They
but
were winning.
2 home runs, right? Yeah, I mean they were winning. That's true. Had 6 strikeouts, but it was Daniel Hudson who gave up a run via home run, and then it was Ryan Brazier who blew the save.
Right. So Ryan Brazier's really the reason.
Yeah.
For the L.
Yes.
Because 7 runs should be enough.
Yeah, should be.
But if your bullpen falls apart, then that's not going to help. And then Alex Vesia, this is one thing that I've seen with the Dodgers. Like you started to say, extra innings it's not their friend.
No, not their forte.
I feel like every other team that I see play them has a better plan to move the ghost runner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fact of life that it's going to be there. So what's your strategy, Dave Roberts? What's your strategy, Andrew Friedman and analytics department?
Yeah,
something has to happen to move that guy over.
Yeah.
And they never seem to be able to do that. Or when they do get that runner over, they can't produce anything else.
I mean, there were 8 home runs in this game. There was Ohtani hit a home run, Max Muncy, Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez hit a home run. Those were all for the Dodgers. Then you had Manny Machado, Ha-Seong Kim, Jake Cronenworth, and Fernando Tatis.
And it's funny because I was watching, and Tatis hadn't really done anything at that point, and I'm thinking, well, we've kind of started to overlook Fernando a little bit.
And then
and then all of a sudden he has like the game of his life.
Right.
And,
yeah. So
and see, I could see him having some attitude.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't see another player having attitude. Jurickson, Profar.
Right. So first game, Dodgers lose 8-7. Go to the next game. There's a rain delay. I think there was a rain delay on Friday night's game too. And actually, all of the games, I think, had some sort of delay. But the rain delay for Saturday's game, the Dodgers win this game 5-2. Gavin Stone had a really great game. He pitched 6 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 walks, and had 4 strikeouts. Was going, in this game was, they were scoreless. He was through 5. He hadn't given up a run, so or a hit, I don't think. But anyway, no, he did. He gave up 5 hits, but I just said that. But he was having a great game because right before the game started, we find out Bobby Miller is headed to the 15-day IL with shoulder soreness. No structural damage, but shoulder soreness, which explains with the last 2 games that he pitched. So Gavin Stone looked great. Dodgers needed this. And then it became, and Mookie Betts was 3 for 5, had 2 RBIs. Kike Hernandez, 2 for 4. Max Muncy had a home run, 2-run home run. But none of that mattered. I mean, for the Dodgers it did because they got the 5. But it was Jurickson Profar, who I think they go to the Manny Machado school of whining. He has in spring training. He
is the captain of that team.
That's true.
Manny Machado is.
And Gavin Stone at this point is, he's doing really well. Like I said, they were hitless. They threw 5, got a perfect game going, or I gotta say perfect, but he has a, he's got a game. Yeah, it was, right? It was a perfect game.
Nobody had gotten on base.
Yeah, so it was a perfect game. And Jerickson Profar tries the bunt. They're trying to get him, they're like, well, they're trying to get him out of sync. The next pitch, he pitches, and it's inside, but it's not. He didn't even need to move.
It wasn't at his head.
No.
It was low.
Uh-huh.
And just barely inside. So like you said, he didn't have to move. It wasn't like it tailed in on him either.
No.
It pretty much stayed just outside, but it didn't really have any kind of action on it.
No. But he makes exaggerated moves and is upset. They're trying to hit me.
That's what he said that to Will Smith. You guys trying to hit me?
Yeah.
No, if we were trying to hit you, you'd be hit already.
Right. And Will Smith is pretty quiet guy. You can notice in interviews, very to the point, just doesn't really get upset. You don't really see him. He has words with Profar. The bench is clear, but this is the funny part. It wasn't the Dodgers. It was Manny Machado, who is right now the DH for the Padres. He's eating sunflower seeds. He finishes his sunflower seeds, throws the bag on the ground, and then walks to home plate. And then the Dodgers come out like, I guess we're supposed to be here. I don't know what we're doing here. This is dumb. And so
did you see through that, you see all the Dodgers kind of standing around home plate, and like Shohei's standing there, and he looks over, and I don't remember the Japanese pitcher name from the Padres.
Oh, the reliever, yeah.
He's the reliever. He's running in, and he pitched in one of the games.
Yeah, I think Sundays.
They look at each other, and they just kind of like, Shohei raises an eyebrow and smiles at him like, eh.
Yeah, like this is dumb. I mean, nothing came of it. It was just dumb. They go back. The game goes on. After the game.
Yuki Matsui.
Yes. After the game, Will Smith is being interviewed by local radio station, and he says, why would we do anything? Like, why would we try to hit him? He was pretty much irrelevant.
Yep.
And of course, the next night, it's like, oh, look at Mr. Irrelevant. So the Dodgers win that game 5-2, good win. We get to Sunday's game. It's on ESPN. And Mr. Irrelevant is in the field. He actually is interviewed during the game, and they ask him about it. Like, what happened? And he goes, oh, well, I didn't realize he had a perfect game going. And I knew that he wasn't trying to hit me. Like, I knew that, and he plays it off and is smiling because they're always like, oh, you're such a great guy, and you're always smiling, and you're always so wonderful.
Well, I will give him this. He is a different player with the Padres than he is with any other team.
Yes. And he was with the Rockies, and he was so different. You didn't even know who he was.
He has been successful with the Dregs.
Yes.
He's not successful with anybody else.
No. Yeah. I mean,
so he's found his way home, and, good for him. I mean, he's not a bad player.
No, he's not. But yeah, you're right. He fits into the culture there in San Diego. And, but then, so he's Mr., they're like, oh, he's irrelevant. Of course, they asked Manny Machado about it, and he's like, oh, I got to get my dictionary out. I forgot what that means. But the next thing, this is not a great game. James Paxton was on the mound. He goes 5 innings, gives up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, but 8 walks he gives up. However, those walks that he gave up, they weren't great, but none of those guys that he walked scored. So I was surprised. I mean, I'm going to say I was surprised. I didn't think that they should have taken him out when they did. He had walked 2 guys. They came in, they took him out. Ryan Brazier comes in. He doesn't give up any runs, but he does give up a walk and a hit. I felt like James Paxton could have gotten through that inning without anybody scoring. But they bring in Brazier, then they bring in Firestone, and he gives up 3 runs and 2 walks.
How does Firestone still have a job? I want to know.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. Bessia comes in. He doesn't give up any runs, but gives up 2 walks. And then Nick Ramirez comes in, gives up a hit, no runs, and 1 walk. So a total of 14 walks. It's the first time the Dodgers pitchers have done that since 1962, which is crazy. And they only had 3 strikeouts, 3 Ks.
And that really gets me because they only need to have 7 for everybody to get a jumbo jack.
I know. And
as
they couldn't
opposed
even
to the
do
10.
that. Right. And they couldn't even do that.
The hungry of LA.
But Jerickson Profar, who is irrelevant, hits a base clearing double to get the Padres up 6-3 because it was tied. And immediately people jump on the bandwagon and shirts are popping up for the San Diego faithful that say Mr. Irrelevant with Jerickson Profar's picture on it. So that will be his rally cry, possibly, or it just dies down.
You got to, take those things, as Padre fans, you have to use those when you can. How many chances?
Sure.
You may not get many chances to do that.
Right. So this is not a good series for the Dodgers. They lose the series to the Padres, and they welcome in the Nationals. And I think
that the rainouts, or not rainouts because they didn't rain out any games, but the delays were just on Saturday and Sunday. The Friday there was no rain. It was cold and it was supposed to rain,
right?
But it didn't. And that right there was but I think that kind of threw them all off.
Yeah, well,
they were cold like the weather.
They must have been because they welcome in the Nationals the next on Monday, Jackie Robinson Day, and you think, okay, it's the Nationals, should be okay. The Dodgers should be okay. And
well, yeah, you would definitely put that down as a W for the series.
Yeah.
Just based on them at the beginning, looking at how the Dodgers are playing and everything.
Well, and Tyler Glasnow is on the mound for this game. Right.
And he's been pitching really well. This is his 5th start.
Yes, it's I think that's his 5th start. And
5th start.
And he only goes 5 innings. He gives up 8 hits, 6 earned runs, strikes out 5, 2 walks, does give up a home run, and could not locate the ball at all. And, he was not happy about it. Later, we find out that he has been under the weather with flu-like symptoms. So I'm sure, that obviously is going to affect you. Did have Nick Ramirez come back in. He looked really good, pitched 2 innings, no earned runs, no hits, no earned runs.
Looked so good that they sent him back down.
I know. I don't understand that. Like, why? Why can't you give him a runway? Then you had the major league debut of Ricky Vanasco, and he is pitched 2 innings, no hits, no runs, and had a strikeout, and no walks. So major league debut for him. He did well. but the Dodgers do lose 6-4. And one of the biggest reasons is because the Nationals had called up another guy who had his major league debut at Dodger Stadium on Monday night, and that would be Albuquerque native Mitchell Parker. And he
She
pitched
said
5
that
innings.
proudly, by the way.
I did.
You're
Albuquerque
scoring
native.
at home.
Yeah. I mean,
She's a
there's
homer.
you just don't really hear a lot of people that are Albuquerque natives or
I
New
know of an
Mexicans.
all-star that is Albuquerque native.
I know, yeah, but one, right?
One. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So-
talked to a guy on a phone at my real job.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think that I'm so good at this that how could I not just be getting paid millions of dollars a year?
I know. How can we not be?
Right. Podcast host of the year for the IBWAA. But I talked to a guy and he went to, he didn't make it in the NFL, but he played on scholarship at the University of New Mexico. He is a Lobo.
Wow.
College football there, and then drafted by the Broncos, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you just don't hear it. But anyway, so
Right.
he goes 5 innings, gives up 2 runs, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, no walks. So that was the issue. Struck out Mookie Betts twice, I think. So, yeah, I mean, I think I was guilty of they're playing the Nationals. They'll turn stuff around. It'll
You were
be
guilty.
fine.
You
I
were
was
just
guilty. I was guilty. I was guilty of assuming that they would just run away against the Nationals and turn things around. Next night, Dodgers win 6-2, and the Dodgers can see there are issues. Chris Taylor is not hitting. James Outman is not hitting. Gavin Lux, who they had to have because of his bat.
Hey, he's something special.
Yeah, no, he is not. And I don't know what's wrong with him. But anyway, they call up Andy Pages.
Pothead.
Yes. From Oklahoma City.
Pajes. Yes.
Pajes.
So instead of being Andy's from Cuba,
Yes.
and so instead of being Pages, which
Yes.
is how it reads, it's Pajes.
Pajes.
So like in Spanish.
Yes, Pajes. It is his major league debut, and he is playing center field.
Put me in, coach.
And right off the bat, he is first. He said he knew when he came up, if he ever got called up, he was going to hit. He was going to swing at the first pitch, and he did, and got his first hit. That was exciting for him. Didn't do anything after that, but it's only his first game. Mookie Betts had his third 5 for 5 games. He had 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. Ohtani 2 for 5. Kike had a home run in this game. Was he 2 for 5 or 3 for 5?
No, I was thinking that the third in his career 5 for
Right.
5 game for Mookie.
Yeah. Yes.
2 of them this season.
Yeah. So
1 in
it's-
Seoul, and then
Oh.
and then this one.
Yeah. So, and then Miguel Rojas was 2 for 3. So you had some guys going in and had guys out of the lineup. Still putting Chris Taylor in the lineup. Not quite sure what. I like Chris Taylor. I've always been a Chris Taylor fan, but he
The question is,
can't hit anymore.
who else is there?
Right.
PK,
Yes.
but Chris, they don't have a lot of options. They got these utility guys who aren't hitting like they used to.
Right.
And so it's like they don't have a lot of options. When you're going to put somebody in the outfield, even Miguel Rojas has talked about that when he came to LA, he was expecting to be a utility guy. He didn't expect to just play shortstop,
Yeah.
but it just worked out that way. The thing is that otherwise, as long as, Hayward's on the IL, you can't really There's not like Hayward can be there, move Teoscar over to left field, and then, whether it be Pajes or Outman, and Pajes, you got to let him keep getting reps because
Yes.
honestly, he just had one hit. He walked.
Right.
But other than that, he's not, I was at Gavin Lux's first game when he got called up, and he got a hit on his first at bat too.
Right.
I think he went 2 for 5 that game, and then he didn't hit again after that, or not consistently.
Right.
So we still got to wait and see
Yeah.
what's going on here.
Yeah. So, but the Dodgers win this game 6-2. So we go into yesterday's game. It's an afternoon game, and I didn't say this but in that game, on Tuesday's game, it was a bullpen game. Dodgers are already back to using the bullpen game. Kyle Hurt comes in. He looked good, pitched 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, but no earned runs. I don't know why they didn't keep him in longer. I know the plan was to give Ryan Yarbrough the bulk of the innings, but he just hasn't looked as good in these types of situations. He did pitch 5 innings. He gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and gave up a home run. Joe Kelly came in, looked really good, and then
Finally.
Daniel Hudson came in and also pitched well. So Dodgers win this game, like I said, 6-2. But should you be concerned, the Dodgers are already using bullpen games?
That's been the big questions. They're already bullpen games. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Once again, like anything, we're too early in the season.
Yeah.
To get too crazy, but I would say just like the Angels, when Ron Washington, after 2 games, kind of settled them down, there's got to be something here that it already looks like. Now we talked about this last week, that the Dodgers on the horizon have the embarrassment of riches with guys who are supposed to be. Clayton Kershaw coming back, Dustin May, Walker Buehler seems to be getting closer and closer.
Right.
We don't know what's going to happen with him yet, but there's a lot of guys there that at some point during this season can have an impact if they pitch back to form.
Yes. Right.
The problem here now, and I've told you this here and just in general conversation between us, there's something missing. And the something that's missing is there's no spark from your utility guys. With the exception of Kike hitting that home run, Kike's not really been doing anything. There's pitching issues. The bullpen seems to be okay. Then we got the starters are great and the bullpen is okay. And then one side or the other is not great, but it seems to happen that they're both not great at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
And this is a thing that you could talk about on a lot of teams. The offense isn't always contributing.
Right.
But when you score 7 runs and then lose 8-7, like they did in that first game versus the Dregs, that's a pitching issue. They spotted you 7 runs by the 4th inning. All you got to do is keep it going. Yes, it would be nice to have more runs, but how many teams can win every night with just 7 runs? Obviously, it depends on who you're playing, and it depends on your pitching, and that letting people in, and obviously sometimes it's going to happen. They didn't stay with somebody. They should have went another inning or another couple of batters with one pitcher. You've called that out numerous times.
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes there's like, why are we, like in Paxton's case, yes, 8 walks, that's a lot. But none of those, they didn't score. So let's get him through this inning, and then you can go to the bullpen. But give him a little bit more length, because that's what they need. Yamamoto is pitching every 6th day, which I think is kind of what is necessitating the bullpen game, because now we have Bobby Miller's out, so on the 15-day IL.
And so and Yamamoto, they're pushing that, give him a little more, because he's only used to pitching once a week.
Right.
So they have to kind of, they still need to work him in. If he's going to be a major league pitcher worth $325 million over the life of his contract, he's got to learn how to pitch in a Major League Baseball rotation.
Exactly.
And honestly, next year, if Shohei's when Shohei comes back as a pitcher, he's probably only going to pitch once a week anyway then, and then they'll go to a 6-man rotation, and then that'll work better. But for now, this is what we need from you, and you need to get into this. He's shown he can pitch. He's had some good outings.
Yeah.
But, like in his outing the other day, he had stopped the bleeding that he had initially, started.
Right.
And then, but they couldn't follow up behind him and hold on to it. Pitching just let it be.
Yeah. Well, in this 3rd game of the series with the Nationals, the Dodgers just couldn't hit, but the Dodgers called up from Oklahoma City another guy who made his major league debut, and that would be Landon Knack. And he pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, did give up a home run. Dodgers lose this game 2-0. They couldn't do anything. And Freddie Freeman, I mean, you can tell he's not happy. I mean, he's striking out, grounding out. He's just not getting. He'll get some walks, but he's not the Freddie Freeman that we know.
Right. There's something going on there.
Yeah.
On the other side, Shohei Ohtani, 3 for 4 today.
Yes.
But the problem with Shohei is not that he's not hitting.
Right.
The problem is he's not hitting with runners in scoring position. I didn't look to see what yesterday's number were, but he's, was at 1.1 for 17 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
But he's batting .360.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of hard hit balls, but right at, the right fielder. They just can't seem to get, like, maybe a bloop shot. Maybe they get through. But it's very disjointed right now for the Dodgers and their lineup. From pitching, for defensively and offensively. So, and it doesn't get better because, again, like I said, you think, oh, it's the Nationals. Well, the Nationals won this series, and they have the Mets coming in over the weekend, and the Mets have been, for the most part, playing pretty well. So we'll see.
Right, they got that, and then they got to go face the Nationals again.
Yeah, they got to go face the Nationals again in DC, and then they go up to Toronto and visit with JT and the Blue Jays, and then
they can see where Shohei's airplane landed.
That's right. They could do a whole tour,
and then they could see where his locker would have been if the Blue Jays will let him visit the clubhouse.
Yeah,
this is where Shohei's locker would have been if you guys hadn't hijacked that plane.
The Shohei bus tour or airplane tour. I don't know, the bus tour. Yeah, so they don't have it the way they are playing. When you look at these teams and say, well, let's look at how these teams are playing. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. The Dodgers have to figure out what they're doing with their rotation, and they have to figure out offensively their lineup, because you can't just depend on 1, 2, 3, because we're seeing that. Freddie isn't hitting. and not as much as he normally is in the third, in that 3 spot. Shohei is hitting, but not with runners in scoring position. And, Mookie is, if he's getting on a base, then Shohei's not going to usually bring him in if he's 1 for, 17, 18 or whatever he may be.
Right.
So they got to figure it out. What's going on and why aren't, Teoscar Hernandez started off like gangbusters and now he's slowed down. And again, it's early enough in the season. I don't think people need to panic, but there are a lot of questions. So if it's going to happen now, let it happen now early in the season so they can reset, they can play around with some things, see what works, so that when they get further into the season, these type of things aren't going to happen. So we'll see.
Well, one thing that I've heard on local radio here is that there is a lot of trust in the Dodgers and Andrew Friedman that they're going to, get the right people and make the moves that they need to make in order to get, to get everything fixed. If that means getting a shortstop and moving Mookie back to second, somehow getting rid of Lux. What are they going to do with the other guys? They're not really able to, who are you going to trade? Hey, Chris Taylor, where's he going to go? He's not, why would you take him?
Right.
Maybe even Lux, though.
I know, that's the problem.
Maybe they should look at what happened with Michael Busch. They trade him out of there. Sure, he never really got a lot of runway with the Dodgers because of where he plays and all that. And yeah, they could have traded Lux and kept Busch, but who's to say that the pressure of being a Dodger wouldn't have been more than, than he could handle.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was thinking about too, is looking at the Dodgers is they're, regardless of what they say, and how they feel, I still feel like there is a lot of pressure on them, whether they want to admit it or not, because of who's playing, because of their lineup, especially 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. And so they're expected to win every series. They're expected to do all of these things, and they're not doing these things. And so now it's the sky is falling and they're never going to get anywhere. And I can't believe they spent this much money on this guy and they did this and they did that. Again, though, I say if it's going to happen, let it happen in April.
You know what? The Dodgers went through hard times last season. They went through them the season before. The sky was falling. Everything was going to be over. And they still win 100 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am not worried. I just think that they got to retool some things. They got to figure some stuff out and see how it goes. But, maybe Freddie shouldn't be the third hit, maybe he needs to move in the lineup. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it should be Will Smith and then Freddie. Maybe he should be hitting fourth. I don't know. But
and honestly, maybe they don't need to do anything but just settle in.
Yes.
Shohei will get there. Freddie will get there. And before you know it, Freddie will be batting, 400 and doing well. And, everybody's going to have their moments.
Right.
So let's just.
Well, and that's, there's a lot of guys. Right. There's a lot of guys that, like Justin Turner's a good example, like he never hit a home run until.
Like he would, May would be the beginning. He would never hit a home run. And then last season with his last season with the Dodgers, he hit one at the end of April.
Yeah.
With Red Sox, he hit one in April. And in this season with the Blue Jays, he hit one in March.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Just never know.
You just never know. So, yeah, I think with the Dodgers, disappointing series versus the Padres and the Nationals, but it's April. So I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, it's not even like the end of April.
Right.
the middle of April.
Exactly.
Let's just, like I said, slow your roll. You'll be okay. It's all going to work. You know, like I
Yes.
said, they can turn it around versus the Mets, for their last series of the homestand, and then 3 on the road. We mentioned the Nationals, the Blue Jays, and then before they come back home off of the road trip, they got to stop in Arizona. And I don't know if you saw it, but the other night they had quite the game versus the Cubs.
Oh yeah,
And
that
came
was
back.
crazy.
It was like 11-11.
Yeah, I
And,
have some stats about that for Around Baseball.
all right. So yeah, that was an interesting game. I enjoyed that. I'm glad I went and looked
Yeah.
to see if there was any more baseball on, because I wasn't quite done after watching other baseball. So I went to MLB and they had that game still
Oh,
going.
good. Yeah. So, player of the week, who you got?
I have I when I looked at it, I kept thinking, who's out there, who's really doing anything. Honestly, the guy who's been consistent was Shohei. So I went with Shohei as my player of the week. 10 for 23, batting .434. Couple of doubles, a home run. He does have like 10 or 11 RBIs on the season. So it's not like he's not driving anybody in. Of course, with his home runs on the season, he's driven himself in, 4 or 5 times.
Right.
But he's gonna be the same guy too. He's settling into this lineup. He's seeing different pitches because he's got, Mookie and Freddie on either side of him. It's hard to not pitch to him. So, he's with the Angels, he got pitched around a lot.
Yeah.
And he just needs to continue to adjust his eye. He's still hitting. He's now got to get himself in position to hit with runners in scoring position. And he's not used to that because there was never any runners in scoring position when he played with the Angels. So,
yeah. I went with Gavin Stone this week. I felt like he had a good game, and especially in the fact that with the news of Bobby Miller, he really has to step up and show what he has, and he did. So Gavin Stone's my player of the week.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I thought I liked that choice. Gavin has really shown that he can be the guy that they thought he could be. And last season was just, write it off to whatever, nerves, whatever you want to do with it. That he's really shown that the trust that they put into him and the reason to keep him seems like it was a good idea.
Yeah.
So after home series versus the Sox of Red and the Rays, formerly Devil Rays, they've seen the light apparently and given up their evil ways, their devilish ways, and now they're just Rays.
That's it.
I guess. And are they like Rays as in the fish, like the Devil Ray fish, or are they like just a pack of guys, like some guys named Ray?
Yeah, I always thought they were like the Stingrays.
Right, but I don't know. And even though they have that Stingray on there, I'm just wondering if there's just a bunch of guys in downtown St. Pete that are the Rays.
Yeah.
This is Ray Jones, Ray Johnson, Ray, and there used to be a guy who back in the day who was it was like commercials they did, but it'd be like, you could call me Ray, you could call me Jay, but you doesn't have to call me Johnson. Maybe that's where they got their thing. They're trying to push it off as if it's something else.
Well, they had to have some kind of logo mask on there. Like, we can't just have a picture of a guy.
Picture of guy named Ray Romano, not Morano, Romano. And they could just be like, and then when they get on base, they could tell jokes. Or then when they get up, their walk-up music could be parts of a stand-up routine from Ray Romano.
Could be, or it could be, the theme song from Everybody Loves Raymond, or,
Sure.
Something.
Have somebody that sounds like Raymond. He's got a very unusual voice.
Yeah, kind of nasally.
Do the announcing there.
Yeah, why not? I think we got a whole promotion.
As always.
We got.
You know what I wonder? I'll bring it up during around baseball.
Okay.
We got to remember.
Yes.
That I have something to bring up around baseball.
Okay, I'm making a note.
And it's a promotional thing.
Okay.
Of course, by the time we get there and you bring it up, I won't remember what it was I was talking about.
All right. Well, I got it written down. I got Promo Jeff.
Promo Jeff. I like that. That would be my name if I was like at a radio station as part of like one of the shows, but I did promotions.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, yeah, we were out at the Arby's for an appearance with Promo Jeff and the crew.
And the crew, Promo Jeff and the crew.
I should have, I messed that up because at one time I was a promotion director at a radio station.
And you weren't Promo Jeff?
No, I did the evenings. And I think I was probably taking myself too seriously on my jock side. I should have been Promo Jeff. Or at least let like the morning and the afternoon people who would normally did most of the remote broadcast.
Yeah.
When I work with them, it'd be like, yeah, Promo Jeff will be out there along, I'll be there. Our morning guy, Bob Madden and Promo Jeff and the team are going to be out there. I missed an opportunity.
Blew it.
I need a time machine.
Can
I get a time? Anybody got a time machine out there? All right. So the Angels, like I said, they head out of after the Bo Sox and the Tampa St. Pete Rays and hit the road and go to Boston.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, you came to our place. Next time we'll go to you. And the Red Sox said, it's fine. So
we'll leave a light on for you. Oh, that's Motel 6.
Grabbed a marble rye and what was the thing that they went and got, and Jerry had the black and white cookie.
The babka.
The babka, but they got a cinnamon babka, not the chocolate babka.
Right, because I didn't know they had cinnamon. Like, ooh.
No, and there was a hair.
In the.
So they went ahead and they got a marble rye instead. It was easier to get, maybe.
That's right, maybe so.
Actually, they had to steal it from some old lady. They had to steal it from, you know who they had to steal it from? Happy Gilmore's grandma.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm surprised that Happy didn't find out about that and beat the daylights out of him, like he was beating up Bob Barker. Well, no, Bob Barker beat him up.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Okay, we digress.
Often. So the Angels head to Boston, where at that point they were the owners of a 7-8 record, half a game behind the Texas Rangers. 7-8, so they're playing a game under 500.
Yeah.
But the Rangers are only playing 500 baseball at that point, and Houston's like not even playing 400 ball at that point.
Yeah.
So that was then. This is now. This is Monday in Boston, and of course Boston is dressed up like they're playing for UCLA. They got the big Bruins in blue and yellow hat and yellow jerseys. And let's just say the Angels, like I said, they have a losing record at that point, but they're doing all right. So they take on the Bo Sox, and first game out, Reed Detmers on the hill. And what does that mean for the Angels this season?
A win.
Exactly, because Reed Detmers has been lights out. Him and Tyler Anderson, but Reed Detmers has been more controlling than even Tyler Anderson has been overall. And the Angels give him something to work with. He scored 3 in the first frame and never looked back in a 7-0 shutout. Included a couple of hits from Anthony Rendon, a home run from Taylor Ward, and it was 6 1/3. Strong innings, only 3 hits, 7 Ks for Reed Detmers, and a perfect outing for the Angels bullpen. 3 more pitchers come in, and they were able to each get a strikeout, no runs, no walks, no errors. So they did well. Like I said, total they gave up, it was a 3-hitter overall. So we head into to the next night. Things aren't so good for them the next night, even though Anthony Rendon has 2 hits. Mike Trout has none. Taylor Ward with another home run, back-to-back nights, but they couldn't muster more than the 2 runs, and they drop it 7-2. Griffin Canning, who has been having a hard time, he's got a 9.88 ERA on the season. I haven't looked to see how many total innings he's pitched, but he's made all of his starts so far, and he's just not having good time. Gave up 7 runs on 9 hits in that game. He struck out 6, but and didn't walk anybody. So at least he didn't give up any runs that he didn't need. I mean, he didn't need to give any up,
Right.
but they just weren't hits and earned runs. So once again, they walk away. So we're 1-1 in the series. Going into the rubber match, Angels would send Tyler Anderson to the hill. Of all of his starts, this was not his best.
No.
Only goes 4 1/3, gives up 3 runs, and on 4 hits, strikes out 4, but walks 3. So that didn't really help him. Bullpen, the bullpen, like Adam Simber, he's been pretty good. He's got an ER of 1.23 on the season. He finished out the 5th inning, just doing 2/3. And then they brought in Jose Suarez because he's a longer reliever, but he's also the guy that comes in and the other team goes, oh, they quit.
Yeah.
At least for the Angels this year. He gives up 2 runs to go along with the 3 that Tyler Andy gave up, and they just aren't able to come back from that. Kenley Jansen gets a save on that, and I think that he moved up on the saves list with one of these saves that he had. I'd have to check and see. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I remember seeing the highlight, and they brought that up. So honestly, I mean, it's 5-4 was the final. The Angels did, so they scored 2nd, 3rd, and then 1 run each in the 8th and the 9th. Brandon Drury, who's not been hitting that great overall, with a home run. Anthony Rendon, 2 for 3. What's going on? Every time you see it, this guy is just hitting. Mike Trout with a triple in the game, but like I said, they couldn't get just 2 more runs to win that game, and so they packed up and headed south to warmer environs. Even if they played outside, it still would have been warmer, even though they were playing inside.
Yes.
To take on Tampa. See, Tampa said, hey, if you're ever in town, stop on in.
Come and see us.
So they probably picked up some black and white cookies in a pink box with string on it.
Yeah,
brought it
down.
And said, here, we've got these. I don't know. What else would they have brought from Anaheim? Maybe they brought Mickey Mouse head cookies.
Oh. Right.
And those would be black and white as well.
They would be. Yes. Maybe they did. I don't know.
All right. Well, so they head into to Tampa for a 3-game set. Early week, Monday through Friday, and honestly, I don't know what's going on, but Anthony Rendon DHing in this first game, 3 for 5.
I know, hits a double.
Yes, he did. He had a double. Trout and Ward both with home runs in this game. Trout did his in the 8th inning. Taylor Ward in the 9th, and they walk away with a 7-3 win. Who else looked pretty good? I mean, the top of the order, Miguel Sano, 3 for 4 in that one. Matt Thaiss with a hit that got him 3 RBIs. He was 1 for 3. Surprising. They had a good attack. As far as that goes, and it helped that they were able to hold the Rays to just 3 runs. Patrick Sandoval, not a bad outing for him compared to some of the outings he's had. Goes 5 full innings, gives up only 4 hits and 1 run. Strikes out 3, walked 2, but lucky for him, it didn't really work against him. And so Zach Eflin was on the hill. They had faced him when they were in Anaheim as well. So Angels overall looking pretty good, but since they're sitting there right around 500, the next night out, once again, this is a Zennings game though. 13 innings.
Yeah, don't see that as often.
But the sad part about this is Anthony Rendon 0 for 5. The other thing is that the Angels bullpen had not given up a lead all season. And in this one, they did it 4 times. They did it in the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 13th. They'd get a run, and then they'd let them back in, tie it up. And then finally, in the 13th, in the bottom of the 13th, they got them. They got 2 runs. The Rays did, and they walk away with the win. Mike Trout 1 for 5 in that one with a stolen base, so he's working towards his 20. Mickey Moniak had a home run, and he's been having a hard time hitting as well. His he's batting now 206 on the season. They're trying to give Nolan Schanuel some chances here, but he's still batting under 100. And he was a little ill, was out for a couple of days in the Boston series. He took a ball off his inner thigh and had a contusion in an unmentionable area.
Yes.
We'll leave it at that. And Logan O'Hoppe with a home run in that one as well. But yeah, they just couldn't put it all together. They had started Jose Soriano, only gives up 1 run over 5 innings, strikes out 6. It was Carlos Estevez with the blown save, giving up 2 runs. And then the rest of the bullpen just kept Estevez, Cisnero, and Fulmer 2, 2, and 2, and that was it. Heading into the rubber match Wednesday afternoon, Angels and the Rays had such a crazy game the night before. Maybe this one wouldn't be quite as crazy. Turns out that it was. They had a lot of action, especially at the end of the game. The Angels walk away with a 5-4 win. 23 total hits in the game, and it would be 2 scored in the top of the 9th that would win this. At one point, they tied it up, and they thought they had gone ahead, but who was that? Zach Neto, sliding in home. They called him safe. I figured it was safe because Mike Trout, who was waiting to come to bat, called him safe. So as far as I'm concerned, that you can't review Mike Trout's call.
Right.
But they could review the umpire's call. And when you went back to it, just by a hair, it was kind of like, remember last week, Otani had a run erased because they called him safe, but because it looked like it. But when they finally went back to it, they did tag him before his foot touched the plate.
Yeah.
Same kind of deal here, but the Angels would go on, score one more, and take it 5-4. Rendon hitting again. Mike Trout with another home run, hit his 8th of the season. So it seems like he can flip that switch on, and he's healthy and he's showing it. And maybe he's just trying to say, you know what, if I get hurt again, like in the same part of the season, I'm going to have career numbers up. I'm going to have season numbers up before I get hurt and out, and hopefully not hurt at all. That worked out for them. Taylor Ward, another great game, 3 for 5 in that, and Shanuel finally got his batting average up over 100, almost a 150 now, as he went 3 for 4, and then came out for Joe Adele as a pinch runner. So
and
looking good.
Yeah, and Reed Detmers was on the mound again, so another win for
it
the
equals
Angels.
W so far.
That's right. Yeah, 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 of those earned, and then 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. So if Reed is on the mound, that should usually be a good sign for the Angels.
So the Angels are back at 500. They are half a game out still from Texas. Texas 1 game over 500, and the Angels will be finding their way to Cincinnati. No, actually, they still have 1 more game in Tampa Bay. It's a 4-game set. I don't know what I was thinking about.
I know,
because we only played 3 before. You're going to play every team 7 games.
Right.
That's on your not necessarily the National League teams you play, but you'll play every other American League team 7 games over the season. Yes. So they have early morning today. So going on as this podcast is being released, probably just be finishing up. We'll see if they can win the series, or if they'll end up tying it up before they head into Cincinnati for the weekend. All right. So who's your Angels Player of the Week?
My Angels Player of the Week is Taylor Ward. He had
bad choice.
3 home runs, 9 RBIs, hit .391, according to my calculations, if I missed anything. But had a good week, was helping out his team. And as a honorable mention, I want to give Ron Washington a Player of the Week, but Manager of the Week, because I learned in an interview with the Angels on the Field Reporter, I don't know her name.
Erica Weston, yes, the counterpart
to the Dodgers, and now I can't think of her name. But anyway,
shoot, what is her name? I had it just when I knew you were going to say I can't remember it, and then I was like, oh yeah, Kristen, what's her last? Starts with a W.
Yeah,
her Walker. I don't know.
We'll figure it out. It doesn't matter. But her counterpart was interviewing Mike Trout, and she said, I recently found out that Ron Washington leaves notes for every player in their, on the chair, at their locker, or in their locker, a little note. Be at the first game of every series. He does that.
Oh, wow.
And and he said it's really nice because it it's just like he said, he looks forward to reading the note. It's, encouragement. Maybe it's a quote, maybe whatever it may be. But he said for him to take the time to sit down, and all the notes are different. It's not the same. So he takes the time.
It's not like a form.
Right. It's
note.
not a form note, an encouragement note, but he is writing these out. And I think that's
Dear,
really cool.
Insert player name here.
Yeah, right. Or like a Mad Libs, but
Right.
but add adjective, or whatever. I just thought that was really cool that he does that. I really think that shows a lot as a manager, that you would take the time to encourage your players in that way, and that these players who are adults are want that.
They're responding to it, I think.
Yes, yeah, and so he's my honorable mention.
And I like that. Thanks for sharing that. I hadn't heard that, but that's awesome. And it just goes to show why he was a good guy to hire here.
Yeah.
And that I think that this is going to show, this is showing now, like we talked about, on the first episode, it's going to take a little bit of time. This guy, what he's doing, getting the players to buy in, having just, 6 or 7 weeks of spring training with a new guy, even if he's talked to you in the off season, still, it still takes that time to continue to see and honestly build that trust to see, is this guy really what we've been told he is, what he seems to be.
Yeah.
And when they see that that's true, that's awesome. By the way, it's Kirsten Watson.
Yes.
Is the Dodgers on field.
So Erica Weston.
Uh-huh.
Kirsten Watson. Yes.
Right. Weston and Watson.
And Watson. Gotcha. Okay.
Got it.
All right. Who's your player of the week?
Oh, yeah. Right. I'm like, hey, we're done. My player of the week, astonishingly enough, Anthony Rendon.
Whoa.
How can we not give him
something
props for what he's doing? Because soon
Yeah.
enough, he'll be injured and he'll be back to his grumpy old self.
Yeah.
And that. But for now, we need to encourage this. And it seems like he's really enjoying playing baseball again.
Yeah, that's great.
And I'm happy to see that. Over the week, he went 11 for 27, 3 RBIs, 5 runs. Now, a lot of people say he still doesn't have a home run on the season, but one thing, he's not going to have a lot of RBIs. And somebody on Twitter tried to make it out that it's been, 1,500 at bats or something like that since Rendon scored on a Mike Trout home run. Well, up until this season, Rendon hit behind Mike Trout. Unless Rendon got on base and was still on base when Mike Trout came up, which is highly likely,
Yeah.
since they batted 3 and 4, 2 and 4 in the lineup in previous seasons. Of course, he wasn't going to. Since it's been 16 games. Was the deal when he finally scored on a home run by Mike Trout. He's not going to get a lot of RBIs because he's a leadoff hitter, but he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's getting on base. He batted .407 this last week. And, he's, like I said, he's doing what Ron Washington wanted him to do. And if he can do this to a point that we can, no apologies from him are ever going to work. He's got to do what he's doing now.
Yes.
Play the game and play it like he is getting paid to do it, that he's happy to do it. And things will go. So yes, I'm happy to hey, credit where credit's due. Anthony Rendon,
absolutely.
you are this week's player of the week for me.
All right.
Bullpen card. Around baseball. I'm in a bullpen cart. I'm riding around baseball. I'm in the combination bull bar cart. Trying to go too fast there. Bullpen cart around baseball segment. It was going so well.
It was. We still have a little bit of time, so
maybe I can recover from that. All right, time to take a look around baseball, and as usual, and we got a lot this week. A couple things that we forgot last week, something that I'll probably forget by the time you remind me of it, and the baseball world lost some names. That you'll remember, some members of the Major League Baseball family. And we'll talk about all that. First up, something we forgot last week. I wonder if we forgot this week. The MLB players of the week.
Oh my gosh. Well, do you remember? Because I forgot.
I only remember because I just get to announce the segment. You're the one who's supposed to be ready to do it. But you know what? I used to get a notification.
Right.
And now I don't get any notification.
I'm not getting anything, and it's I mean,
Rob Manfred must be behind this.
Of course.
He's
all right.
Keeping us.
All right. Players of the week of the Baltimore Orioles, Colton Cowser.
Yeah.
The American League Player of the Week, 435 average, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 4 doubles.
One of many great rookies. And the line is long to get into the Major League Park.
And I think they're wearing cow suits, costumes, and they're mooing when he gets up in Baltimore.
Yep.
And so, Baltimore is, on fire right now. Pete Alonso of the New York Mets is the NL Player of the Week. 429 average, 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 6 walks. So taking advantage of his at-bats.
Whoa.
The polar bear. So
it's nice to hear him doing good. He had such a bad season and injuries and stuff last year. It's good to see him putting himself in a position to leave New York and get a big contract elsewhere.
Yeah. So there you go. And I will make myself a note to forget it next week.
All right.
I
like it. I forgot the MLB Player of the Week. I'm at the grocery store. I forgot the MLB combination grocery store.
All right.
So we got those, and we're just a couple of weeks away from the first time that we'll have Players of the Month.
Yes.
Will you be prepared?
That's what I will be prepared. That's what I always think of. I always forget about the because I'm focused on our players.
Right.
Of the week,
well, I'm focused there, but
important.
Then we bring up the guys that are doing that, and just to talk about the Orioles. I was listening on, I don't know if it was MLB or I was reading something, and they were talking about the Orioles and that the Orioles are putting themselves in a position where they have so many guys that are looking like they're ready to come up. Cowser, what's his name? Holiday.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it makes it look like he's in like his third season. Adley Rutschman looks like he's a veteran now.
Yeah.
Like he's been there forever. Gunnar Henderson, last year's Rookie of the Year. There's just at some point, honestly, other than Burns, Corbin Burns, they don't really have a lot of great pitching.
Right.
And they need to see what they can do there. They could be trading off, maybe not the rookies, and a guy that made an incredible catch just the other day, Cedric Mullins.
Yeah.
Who's one of my favorites.
Me too.
Could be somebody that a team like, I don't know, maybe the Dodgers could trade for him to be their center fielder, versus sticking around and waiting to see if Outman can ever figure out how to bat, or Pajes. They're gonna get there at some point, but maybe you get something that's proven right now.
Yeah.
But even then, these are guys that might be able to bring them some good pitching, and they're going to put themselves in a position to be mentioned as a potential dynasty if they keep the team together with new ownership, and that they really have built up, a good organization. So something that we missed from last week, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. The A's have, it's been announced, because there was a lot of questions. Would the A's, with all the animosity between the city of Oakland, and the Oakland fans aren't really the issue. Their issue is with the ownership of the A's. But the question was, would they stay in Oakland until their potential, or until that stadium is built in Vegas? And the answer is no.
No, they're going to go to Sacramento.
Tomatoes. Yep. They're going to go there. And Gavin Newsom will be able to go to all the games now, since he resides up there in Sacramento, the state capital.
Yeah.
And they're going to be playing in a minor league stadium. It was the River Cats Stadium there, AAA team. And so they're going to take over that stadium, and they'll be there until the stadium in Vegas is open.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really surprise me that they're looking for other places, and their capacity of the stadium is obviously less than the Coliseum. Probably still will not fill this stadium.
It's still going to look empty. It's a 14,000 14,000 seat stadium compared to whatever 900,000 seat the Coliseum. They got so many seats there, they got to cover some of them up with banners out there so it doesn't look like there's all those empty seats. And it still looks like empty seat night. Come dress up as your favorite empty seat in your favorite empty seat section.
Yeah.
Hey, it's sit where you want night at Oakland Coliseum.
That's right. All tickets, this price.
So they're going to be doing the. So they're going to be playing in Sacramento there until they get they find their way to Oakland. I mean, back to Oakland until they find their way to Las Vegas.
We in the baseball world this week, we lost the last of the Boys of Summer, part of the 1955 World Series Brooklyn Dodgers. Yeah,
like you said, the last surviving member of that team, Carl Erskine.
Yes. Carl Erskine died at the age of 97 in Indiana. That's where he was from. He was from Anderson, Indiana. He pitched in 5 World Series for the Brooklyn Dodgers over his 12-year career, which he spent entirely with the Dodgers. He had a 4 ERA. He earned an All-Star nod in 1954. And as I said, he helped the Brooklyn Dodgers win the World Series in 1955. He threw 2 no-hitters and delivered an iconic and then record 14 strikeout complete game performance in Game 3 of the 1953 World Series against the Yankees. He was, as Jackie Robinson said, just and paraphrasing here, but just one of the best human beings that you would ever know. But also not only a ball player, but his son He and his wife were told when that their son had Down syndrome, that he needed to be put in a home, and they said, no, we're not going to do that. And he became a champion for the Special Olympics and all of those causes. So great humanitarian. And during those times, it was like, their son, I think his name is Jimmy, their life expectancy was like 10 years old. He actually died last year at the age of 63. So, yeah.
And it's probably because of the way his parents
yes,
worked with him and didn't allow him to just be. And at the time that he came along, that wasn't unheard of, to just say, oh, he's less than.
Right.
So we'll just let him be. And, so, yeah, good for Carl. Carl, born December 13th of 1926, died just on the 16th. And like you said, he died where he was born, Anderson, Indiana.
Yep. And he was also a veteran and served in the Navy during World War II. And once the war ended, he signed with the Dodgers at the age of 19. So.
What was it about him too? Was he one of the first ones to volunteer, as I recall? I don't remember. We've mentioned him before because we did, the veteran specials in past seasons.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go and look that. But Carl Erskine, last living player to have played with Jackie Robinson.
Yes.
So, like you said, Carl Erskine. Definitely one of those that we need to remember, and as you just shared, great influence, not just in baseball, but on the world. The second person we lost this week was manager Whitey Herzog. Now, Whitey did play he did play some baseball, but like a lot of players, he didn't really have much of a baseball career. But when he got into managing, that seemed to be the place to be, especially when he found his way to the St. Louis Cardinals. He had managed the Rangers in 73, my Angels, California style, in 74. So he got to manage Nolan Ryan at that point. Went to Kansas City. I remember him being in Kansas City, because Kansas City was in the playoffs versus the Yankees, 77, 78, couldn't get past them. But 102 wins season in 77 that he skippered them to, and then in 1985 he took the Cardinals to the World Series and won it there. 18 years.
Yeah, he was also named Manager of the Year in 1985, and then he was voted into the Hall of Fame by the Veterans Committee in 2010. And I like that his plaque says, "Stern yet good-natured style."
So the White Rat, as he was known, leaves us. And then, like I said, 18 years. He had a 1,281 wins as a manager, 1,125 losses, won 3 pennants and a World Series. And then finally, another guy who has some World Series credentials would be Ken Holtzman.
Yeah, pitcher who threw 2 no-hitters with the Cubs, won 3 straight World Series championships with the Athletics, 1972, 73, 74. He died at the age of 78. He was battling heart issues and was hospitalized. That's what his brother said. But he was selected by the Cubs in the 4th round in the draft in 1965. And
in the initial draft, 1965 was the first draft.
The first one. And when he came into the majors, he was drawing comparisons. They were to Sandy Koufax. So, which they're both Jewish, and Holtzman is the winningest Jewish pitcher in Major League history with 174 victories. Koufax had 165.
We all know that Sandy would have had a lot more had he stuck around longer.
Yes.
15-year career for Ken. I remember watching him pitch when he was with the A's. I don't really remember his time with the Cubs, but I do remember his time with the A's. Pitched for the Yankees as well. Was part of their 76 and 77 World Series teams. Of course, they won it in 77 and actually in 78. He was there as well before going back and finishing his career with the Cubs.
And his no-hitter against the Braves at Wrigley Field on August 19th, 1969 remains the last no-hitter to be thrown without a strikeout in the big leagues.
Oh, wow. That's pretty incredible to throw one. Normally you have a lot of strikeouts.
Yes.
I mean, you probably look at like Nolan Ryan and all of his no-hitters were strikeout driven.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Ken, like I said, I always remember Ken. I got a baseball card from him somewhere. I think in your shed.
Probably. It's probably there.
So farewell to 3 big leaguers, or 2 full-on big leaguers and 1 big league manager. You will be missed, I'm sure, by your families, and we will always remember what you contributed to the sport of baseball.
So I wanted to give you that stat. You mentioned the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Cubs in that game that they played.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 100 years, 2 Major League Baseball teams have had a game with at least 4 doubles, 3 triples, 2 innings with 4 or more runs, and 1 grand slam. The 1927 Yankees did it on July 4th and won 21-1. The Cubs did it this week and lost.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about numbers, unless you have more right there, Andrew McCutchen.
Oh, yeah. I have that down. Hit his 300th home run.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been a couple of seasons here for, over the last few years where he didn't think he'd probably ever get there. But he does it with, the team that we will always most identify him with, the Pirates.
Yes, the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's also one of 26 players that has 300 home runs and 200 stolen bases. And maybe because of what happened with the Ohtani home run ball, they quickly brought in there was a little boy who caught the ball, and they brought him back, and Andrew McCutchen met him, talked with him, got the ball. The little kid got a signed baseball bat. So good trade. Yeah,
not bad at all. And he got to meet him, and that's cool.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that difficult.
No.
And, the Dodgers security made it difficult. I don't think that if you'd ask Ohtani, or any player,
mm-hmm.
they wouldn't have an issue with it. Maybe a couple of players.
Well, and going back to that, the couple that all this happened with, they did go back to Dodger Stadium this past week, and they did meet Shohei Ohtani, and they were able to go on the field, and they were able to and I think it was her birthday. So
nice.
They actually got to do that. So great birthday, and all smiles, and Shohei can say, I met with them.
Right. Without it being some kind of an issue.
Exactly.
All right. Well, finally, good news out of Dodger Town as far as things go. When it comes to the public relations side of things.
Exactly. And we talked about, especially in the Dodgers segment, how a lot of Major League, and talked about the Orioles too, having, calling players up, and Jack Leiter, who was the first round pick in 2021 for the Texas Rangers, he is pitching today against Detroit. And
I did hear that.
So 25 strikeouts, or 25 Ks, 3 walks in 14 1/3 innings. Rangers said, sounds good to us. They called him out. Of course, his dad is Al Leiter. So we'll see. Oh, so what's the promo? Promo, Jeff?
You know what? We did it.
Oh, okay.
I think it was the A's thing.
Oh, dress up like your favorite empty seat, and
that's the promo apparently. What was I think? Oh no, the promo.
Yeah.
If they're going to be in Sacramento, that's the time to reintroduce the Red Solo Cup.
Yes. They need to do that. That is like one of our best ideas. And why?
Yeah, and it was a great episode too. If you're interested, go back and take a look, and take a look and see if you can find that episode, Red Solo Cups. That's the name of the episode, Red Solo Cups.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was season 3.
I believe so. But yeah, I mean, we have really good promos. I mean, you're promo Jeff. So why aren't these teams listening to us, especially the A's, when they need these type of promotions to help get people in the stands?
Red Solo Cups was season 3, episode 19, our 85th overall episode, and it came out on the 11th of August, 2022. So if you want to go back and listen to it, I listened to it one time and found it to be entertaining.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I don't mean that just because I'm biased or anything. I actually think I would have enjoyed it just as a regular listener.
I think so. All right. So you've had time. Do you have a song for this next?
I don't know. Probably, but it's going to be probably once you say something, I will be inspired, and it will just spew forth. And spew is probably the right term for this.
Okay.
As we find our way to the dizziest place on the SRBB baseball podcast here, with a little redundancy there. The wheel of I'm on the spinning wheel. I'm at the grocery store. I'm at the combination spinning wheeling grocery store. I ate a snack. I'm spewing forth the snack. I'm on the combination.
That would put you on the yeah. All right. I'm going to start with Spencer Strider. We mentioned last week, we pretty much knew what was going to happen.
Once you say forearm or UCL,
yeah,
elbow, usually there's only one thing.
Right. And he did have surgery, and Tommy John surgery, but it is with the brace. So the internal brace procedure. So he is out, which we knew was going to happen. I want to save his teammates for later. Maybe I'll keep him last, because this sounds bad, but it's probably my favorite on the wheel this week. But
well, yeah, save your favorite for last. No,
So we got shortstop Rami Gonzalez of the Red Sox is on the IL with wrist soreness, but he also is going to have an MRI. So Red Sox are sole owners of last place, and they just
owners of last place, much better than Oh, I guess there's nothing.
No. Their starting pitcher, one of their starting pitchers, Garrett Whitlock, has
Owners of last place, much better than
oblique injury.
oblique injury.
Which is
Thank you,
what
because
Garrett
you know
Whit-
what? I know this is going to sound weird, but I blanked on oblique.
I can't believe it. That's crazy. That's like your favorite. Garrett Whitlock has an oblique injury.
Ah,
Seiya Suzuki of the Cubs will be out 4 weeks with a moderate right oblique strain.
oblique. I got an oblique injury. I'm in the trainer's room. I've got an oblique. I'm in the combination oblique injury trainer's room. He's in the oblique. He's got an oblique injury. He's in the trainer's room. He's in the combination oblique injury trainer's room.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to be spending
Hey,
about
you know
4
me, I'm
weeks
gonna run
there.
this into the ground.
I know. People are going to see the commercial and be like, I hate that commercial.
No, they're going to say they hate me.
Oh, right.
But maybe that'll work for us because I don't know if you ever watch. Do you ever watch Private Parts? The Howard Stern
Oh,
movie?
yeah. Yeah.
And what was the deal? They said fans of the show listen for an hour and a half. Biggest reason given? They want to hear what he says next. People who hate the show listen for 2.5 hours because they want to know what he's going to say next.
Right.
So maybe that'll work here. I used to listen to a random episode here or there, but now that I hate Jeff because of the oblique stuff, I listen longer and to more episodes.
Exactly.
I listen to an episode at the grocery store.
You can do that. You can
Yes.
totally do that.
You could do that. Doesn't have to be a combination anything.
It doesn't have to. Carlos Correa, it was announced he is on the IL, and he also had an oblique injury. However, it has been reclassified as a mild right intercostal strain.
I had an oblique injury. Now it's an intercostal injury. I had a combination oblique intercostal injury. My name's Carlos Correa. I need to be booed. I need to have my World Series taken away from me. I'm a big cheater. I got a combination pitch indicator trash can. I'm at the combination pitch indicator trash can store.
Which reminds me, okay, get back to the IL, but there is an account on Twitter, and it's MLB on Facts, or Facts MLB. So it's like Fox, but it's Facts. So It's total. So they're doing a whole thing about what all of the stadiums would look like if they were domes, like different. Some of them are enclosed. Uh-huh. So Houston obviously it's a juice box and it's inside, but they made it what it would look like, and it would be a trash can, and it's awesome. And the lid of the trash can is retractable, and it is like the hat of the Astros logo.
Okay.
So
that's pretty good. How come you didn't send that to me?
I thought I did, but I'll send it to you later.
Well, look, because I just saw something that you sent me about the disco turkeys that I missed completely.
Yes.
So,
okay. All right. So Chris Bryant, who signed with the Rockies, and everybody was like, why would you sign with the Rockies? And now we know, because he has rindonitis, and he is back on the IL with back and rib pain or tightness. So he spent a lot of time last year on the IL with a toe injury. I don't know if he had turf toe, but had issues. He was booed He's been booed at Coors Field. Just not great for Chris Bryant. As I mentioned, Bobby Miller is on the IL with the shoulder injury, shoulder strain. Christian Yelich is back on the IL with the Brewers, has lower back strain. That seems to be an issue throughout his career where he has had back problems.
Mm-hmm.
JD Davis is out with a groin injury. Yu Darvish is on the 15-day IL with neck strain. Jake Cronenworth is on the 10-day IL with a calf injury. And then St. Louis's Matt Carpenter is out with an oblique injury.
Oblique.
And that
Oblique.
is the will of IL.
Oblique. Okay, so let's talk about this. It's not necessarily around baseball, but it could be, because we had been wanting to do an SRBB trip.
Yes.
And it started out, and I think that we still want to make this one happen, a trip to Kansas City, so that we could go to Kauffman Stadium. Now, we were under the impression by some news and by somebody that we know that Kauffman Stadium was like in the last couple of years, and that it was already a done deal. They were getting a new stadium. And I hadn't looked that up, but then later found out they have an agreement to play in Kauffman Stadium. The Royals do till like 2031 or something like that. So it's not like, we want to go because the Negro League Baseball Museum is there. We'd really like to take in a couple of games with the Royals. And there's other stuff around that area that we wanted to do. There's just quite a bit. Then if you were listening to our final episode last year, well, we didn't necessarily get an invitation. We did invite ourselves.
Yes, which sometimes you have to do.
For SRBB night at the Carolina Disco Turkeys. But they're still, it looks like they're finally got a schedule, and the thing with them, they got their schedule. They've also joined the Southern Collegiate Baseball League, which this will be their first season to do that. They were independent prior to that, so that probably slowed things down, and that was something we were considering. But something else came up that got our eyes wide open. And that's the opportunity to maybe go to the All-Star game.
Yes.
So it's in Arlington there at the Grill. Both of us we've both been to Arlington Stadium back in the day, the first stadium they had. Did you ever make it to the ballpark at Arlington?
No, did not.
I made it there. So I've been to those two and then not been to the Grill yet. We thought this would be a good reason or good time, not just to see a regular old baseball game, Rangers versus whatever, but get to go to the Home Run Derby, go to the All-Star game, All-Star Fest, and all of those things, and enjoy the whole thing. Maybe record a segment while we're there. Talk to some fans or whatever. We'll see what it is, and enjoy one of the biggest showcases of the MLB season. If you would love to contribute to this pursuit, like I said, go to Fanatics, buy some gear. It will give us a contribution. We also have, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it Ko-fi?
Yeah.
So explain to us, because you set that up and I've not really messed with it, how that works.
Ko-fi is basically it's allows creators like ourselves, podcast creators, to get donations for what we're doing. So in order to be able to go to the All-Star game to help a little bit, maybe be able to buy a boomstick at the grill. But it's just creators that donations. We can also sell some things on there if we had anything to sell. But so it's just, out of the goodness of your heart, you enjoy listening to our show, give us a couple of dollars.
So I think that's why it's Ko-fi, because it's like a cup of Ko-fi.
Yes.
Instead of, they're
exactly.
they're playing on that. And if you look at our website, the top of it, you have an upper banner that gives you a couple of things where you can go back and look at some of our walk-up songs, the podcast, the music that we play during the podcast. We attribute to the artist that we are able to use his files for our bumper music. And then if you go down a little bit, tells you where to find us. And then right there's in black. Maybe you should put a little marquee around it, flashing lights or whatever.
I do. I need to, I've been looking at the website and I need to do some updating to it. It needs an update. So I will put this more front and center.
Prominent.
Consider this like a tip jar.
Right. And there's a little thing, it says support SRBB. You click on the link, which has got like a little coffee cup with a heart on it. It shakes at you and it says support us. And you click that and, what do they say? You can't be an athlete. You can at least be an athletic supporter.
That's right.
So if you're not doing a podcast of your own, if you enjoy ours, do that. And you could help finance our trip to the All-Star game.
Yeah, this is like one of those, this is a bucket list item to go to the All-Star game. And what better way to start off our summer trip for SRBB than to go to the All-Star game? Because originally, we thought it had some different ideas, as you mentioned, and then you said, hey, the All-Star game is going to be in Arlington. And I was like, and then I couldn't let the idea go.
No, I was like, we started looking at cost and all that, and we're still working around how to make that happen. But when we looked at it, I was like, well, I don't think I can, there's probably, maybe we can I'll come to your house and we'll go to Isotopes.
Right.
Or we'll find some other, minor league team and we can go see them there or meet somewhere else and that. But this, it's definitely, you just were like, nope, I am wide-eyed. And I know Planet Head was happy to support this primarily because I would go and not him.
Exactly. Yeah, he went on a bucket list trip a couple of years ago where he went on a motorcycle trip to Alaska, up through Canada, down to Alaska. So this is a bucket list trip for me. I didn't go with him to Alaska. He doesn't have to go with me to the All-Star game. So it works out. That's why we've been married for so long.
Yep. So whether you can do it or not, whether you want to or not, if you do, we truly appreciate it. If you don't, that's okay. We just like that you're hanging out with us and listening. So we're happy to have you here either way.
That's right.
All right, let's put the straps out there. Strap down the bullpen cart. Move it to the next location, which will be episode 4?
Yeah.
So we'll get that in place. And in the interim, like I said, visit our website, siblingrivalrybb.com. Check out the right at the very top, the Fanatics links. And there is one for the Dodgers and one for the Angels, but you can go get whatever gear you want.
Whatever. It doesn't even have to be baseball. It can
even if you're an Asterix fan, you can go get that.
Support that.
We're not proud. We will take whatever money comes in, because, and you know what? If you're an Asterix fan and you let us know I contributed to this so you could go to the All-Star game, whoever makes it, unless, I have to put this in, unless it's Jose Altuve. If Tiny is the All-Star game representative, I won't root for him or I won't cheer for him. Any other asterisk that goes,
Even
I will cheer
Tucker,
for.
Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, I would.
Okay,
I would do
okay.
that because he's taller.
Okay.
But if that's the case, even Bregman,
Yeah.
I will. But I draw the line at Teeny. I will not. So if, unless of course you pay for the whole trip, and then I'm not too proud to pretend like I'm cheering for Jose Altuve. So, but anyway, you can find all that gear. Plus, we got, I know the NBA playoffs are starting up here, so you can support your favorite team, whether it be the Lakers, whether it be the Denver Nuggets,
and
any
if
of the
you are
76.
and if you're a Caitlin Clark fan and you missed out, maybe those jerseys are back in stock. And you can buy one of her jerseys.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, where did she go again? First round draft pick. So she's going to turn the WNBA on its ear. At least that's what it sounds like. Yeah. So that's all available right there at Fanatics, or you can get mixed match uniforms with little tiny names on that. It's all there.
Everything's there, and it is supporting us, and we appreciate it.
Exactly. All right. So that'll be, that's it this week. Did I tell them where they were? Twitter at Sibling Rivalry BB without the A.
And on Instagram and Facebook at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
All right. Next week we will we'll talk more about what's going on. Will the Angels continue playing pretty decent baseball and eventually get to the winning side overall, or are they just going to kind of hang around at 500, which is better than what they've done? And can the Dodgers finally revert back to their beginnings and what we know they're capable of? They're going to be a 100-win team. Is it going to start now, or?
Who knows? I don't know. But also, I am going to be telling you about the bananas and the party animals and that experience that I will be having. So I'll tell you all about that, the Savannah Bananas, next week.
As they visit Albuquerque.
That's right. Sold out.
All of that on the next episode of the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast. I know I can't wait either. All right. Thanks for dropping in, and don't forget to swing away.